My heart rate journey came from a coffee breakfast with a Green Beret friend of mine. And I remember him telling me a very distinct story about his first time, they call it the kill house, in clearing rooms. His heart rate was through the roof. He got in, he panicked, he shot at everything. They failed the exercise. And I was explaining to him that in my very, very different country club experience, getting on the first tee, my hands going numb, and hitting the ball 400 miles right. Around 150 BPM, your central nervous system begins to change. I said to myself, I wonder if that's what I'm experiencing on the golf course on the first tee when I'm just flat out panicking. And the idea went off in my head of like, wait a minute. When I'm on the driving range practicing right now, there's no stress. I can just hit another ball. This is nothing like I'm competing in. When I'm on the course and I'm playing in a tournament, every shot counts. And he said to me, well, are you practicing like you're playing? And I said, well, of course not. I'm on a flat driving range. There's no stress, there's no pressure. And more importantly, the outcome doesn't matter at all. So I bought a heart rate monitor, I bought a Whoop, and I was able to track what happens when I'm walking to the first tee. And I started to look at golf practice very, very differently. I didn't know the rules of coaching when I started, so I didn't know that I was doing things out of the norm. I am Nico Darras, co-founder and CEO of Golf Blueprint. So what is Golf Blueprint? Golf Blueprint is structured practice, and it's taking a very abstract idea of golf. How do you improve in golf? Well, there's driving, putting, approach play. There's a million things that you can do, but what is actually high yield? And so understanding what makes each golfer specifically them is what drove Golf Blueprint. That's what drives me today, is understanding what makes you, you. Heart rate plays a huge role in your on-course performance. The moment the light bulb really went off for me, one of my players, he got in one of the opposite field events, and I said, hey, can I track your Whoop while you're playing? And he had a chance to win on the 18th hole. His heart rate when he teed off, I'll never forget it, was 137. Stripes one down the middle. He's walking up the fairway, takes a big deep breath, hits one to 6 feet. If he makes it, he's in a playoff and he has a chance to win and change his life. He got over that putt and his heart rate was 150 from 6 feet. He didn't even sniff the cup. And everything changed for me from that moment. And I was obsessed with practicing at my playing heart rate. I'm strictly looking at outcome and how I can tie practice into competitive performance. And so I began doing burpees on the driving range. And everyone laughed. Who's the idiot running sprints over there and hitting wedges? Who's the idiot that's doing push-ups and then trying to hit a 4-foot putt? This was not a cool thing. This was not something that people looked at me and were like, wow, that's amazing that you're doing something new and unique. Everyone laughed at me until they did it. What's going on? The best way I use Whoop is in a bay where I can transmit heart rate live on the screen, and then we can watch it manipulate.
Spotify?
Yeah.
Okay, what are we doing?
Put them both in, and
Yep.
we'll go to
Here
work.
you go.
I attach heart rate to music. And it's actually one of the things in our field that heart rate's very, very difficult to research. There's not a ton of information, but music is tied in a lot of ways to heart rate.
What kind of shots are we hitting first?
You're gonna hit drivers.
I can't hear you.
Actually, let's hit 3-woods.
Okay.
Let's hit 3-woods while you wait.
Okay.
This is kind of fun. I used to DJ in high school for fun. So I learned BPM of music and how to match that. So with Marina, we're able to manipulate her heart rate just through music. And the craziest part is her baseline was about 100 when she started. We're doing the exact same thing we've done before, and we're up nearly 20 BPM just with music. When I'm jamming my heart rate, I listen to jazz. And the reason why, it's offbeat. And I like rhythm, I like order, I like things that are familiar, and jazz doesn't follow order. Very similar to golf. When you're playing your best, oftentimes you're not focused on anything. You're just focused on the outcome or the target or whatever it is. But when things go under pressure, then it's like, well, how do I grip it? Where is my shoulder? Are my shoes tied tight enough? All of the myriad of thoughts that go through my mind when I play. Jazz produces a similar thing when I practice because I'm no longer focused on the little white ball and where I want it to go. I'm focused on how annoyed I am that it's not following a rhythm that I can predict. And so for me, that creates massive stress. And I'm very clear when I say that I do not do that very often because it just like frustrates me and I don't like it. But if I was paying myself as a coach, I would hammer the jazz music regularly when I practice. Full routine like first tee, like walk through it like you were gonna do on the first tee. Awesome. Okay, so like 85, 90, right?
Yeah.
Normal, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Low stress, zero
Yeah.
stress, no outcome.
Right.
Get me to like 120. Balance, do whatever you need to do.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I might need to do like some jumping jacks. Got my fill hops.
then take 10 seconds, go through your routine.
Okay. I'm only at 107. Oh, it's getting up
No,
there.
it's gonna spike. Look how much you spiked.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 35 different.
Yeah, I actually hit a better drive on that one.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
For you, you play best.
More energy and like better contact off the
Yeah.
face.
Like you have more speed, you
Yeah.
play better there.
Yeah.
And we figured that out.
And then there's like, obviously, you know, you're trying to visualize your shot and get into your quote unquote zone, but for
Yeah.
everyone that's very, very different.
Yeah.
For me, it requires more energy.
Gotta hammer it.
Yeah.
The most important thing that my father taught me was if you're gonna do something, be the best in the world at it. We always say moderation is for cowards, but in reality, it's super hard to live an adjusted adult life with that mentality. It makes you an amazing athlete. And that's something that I think I really connect with my tour pros on, is understanding that if you wanna be number one in the world, you have to be obsessive. Obsession to me is really necessary to accomplish anything that really takes a lot of time. Starting a business while I was getting a doctorate, while playing on the mini tours, I had to sacrifice a lot of other things. I missed a lot of parties, I missed a lot of friends' weddings, but at the end of the day, I had a super clear goal ahead of me, and I think that ability to focus is really what got me where I'm at. When I'm using Whoop myself, just like people are using data for scoring, I'm looking at it and saying, what happens? I don't know the answers yet. This is something that I am trying to explore.